Good morning, traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today. So we had a nice long weekend with the Easter weekend happening, and we also had the lockdown extended. So that news is very difficult to know whether that news has been factored in or not right now. I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's noise, and we need to ignore it. So what we're going to do is just let's look at the basics, right? So we're starting on the daily chart here. So we ended up with a bit of a sort of a potential island reversal that didn't materialize. We then gapped up and had a sort of a hanging man that's left as well. So we've got this pin bar, hanging man, a bit of big up, big down, big up, big confusion. Okay, we did get a trend line break, okay, which is out here, and we haven't had that trend line retest. But I think the important thing to realize is that we are through the 50% Fibonacci, and we've kind of bounced off that on Thursday. Let me just change the color of that for us quickly. Make it a bit more contrast to it. And then the next level that we have on a Fibonacci level is the 61.8. One thing to bear in mind is we had this move down and we had a pullback. So if we take the Fibonacci from the top of that pullback, we are at the 73.6 Fibonacci at the moment, which is another fairly important level on instruments like the Dax and the ALSI and also the FTSE. Okay, so we are at a fairly decent Fibonacci level at the moment. Just moving down through the time frames, you can see sort of last week we were hovering on the 3-hour 200 EMA, hovered there, threw it back below it, and then broke through it. Now what's worrying me is if you look at the oscillators here, look how they grouped there, and we came down. We then crossed over quite far apart. There's a cross, and we rallied again. My view at the moment is this is starting to set up as a double top. Okay, we do have a bit of diversion starting to brew here, but nothing really serious as far as I'm concerned. Trend is up, so we should be looking for longs, but I am very, very skeptical of this. So if we do sort of move the upside, I think the 61.8 area of 45,187 is going to offer some resistance. And that is kind of the area that I would be very cautious of. If we drill down to the hour, pretty much the same scenario that you see here. So you could see a grouping of the oscillators here. You see sort of a sellers coming in here, then an exhaustion bar, and then the sellers came in. And we had a fairly strong move back to the downside to come and test the 50% Fibonacci. And we are hovering at the 50% Fibonacci for a while. Then we rallied again. Okay, created a new high, granted, but we haven't taken out this high yet. And look at the oscillators again, they're grouping the upside. So yesterday on the US markets was the only one that was open. We had a fairly interesting day. The Nasdaq was up, so Nasdaq finished up 1%, whereas the S&P and the Dow were both down. Well, S&P was down 1% and the Dow was up down 1.39%. Rand dollar is hovering at 18. That's actually a bit stronger today than it was yesterday. And our good old friend Tencent is up actually 1.2% at the moment. So the USA futures are all up at the moment. Dow futures is up 1.6, S&P is up 1.6, and the Nasdaq futures are up 1.75. We do have earnings season starting on the States now as well, so that's something that you need to also bring into the equation. But I think the key thing here is most of your markets are sitting at a 50%, between 50% and 61.8 Fibonacci retracement on the larger time frames. There are a few little gaps and things to the upside that may attract the bulls for a bit, but I really don't see us getting much further than where we are at the moment. So I'm looking for signs of weakness, even though the trend is up at the moment. So what are those signs of weakness? Pretty straightforward. Okay, if we look at Friday as an example, or not Friday, it was Thursday, You can see Fibonacci level, 50% Fibonacci, and we're on the 12-minute chart now. You can see 200 EMA. We tested there, an entry would have been above that bar there. It didn't happen. Exhaustion bar through the EMA, a rejection bar, entry could have been right above that bar with a stop below it, and that was your trade. Okay, so, and you can see price action at the moment. You see here's engulfing, another engulfing, entries below this fractal break, and your target would have been the gap. The gap, or even trying to hold out for the bottom of these tails here, or 50% Fibonacci, it doesn't really matter. But there were two trades here that were pretty clear. And if I even go down to the 6 minutes, which is kind of the chart that I prefer trading, oscillators group to the upside, pin bar, back. Then we've got this bit of a retest of the break. The break I'm talking about is there's two breaks. One is there, and you can see it stretched through, didn't quite get it, and the other break is this fractal break here. Okay, and the last thing that you can also do on these smaller time frames is use your Fibonacci level. Okay, you can see broke through. We're looking for a pullback. There's my pullback to the 61.8 tags that your entry could have been just below this. Let's just get rid of the noise quickly. Entry could have been just below this pin bar that actually reached for it there, or this range bar, and a stop above it, and your trade was in. Okay, so pretty straightforward. I think this is very straightforward for trading, and all the time that you were moving down like this, on every break of the fractal, you could be adding to your trade. Although I wouldn't add to every fractal, probably the first two fractals I would add and then keep my stop, moving my stop down. Okay, so I think today, more than likely, probably a little bit of a gap up to the upside. Remember, we've got this 61.8 Fibonacci here, and I'm leaving that line drawn in at the moment because that's going to give us, that's a good 900 points to the upside. So there's probably still a bit of an upside trade today before we start seeing some signs of weakness coming in. I think the 61.8 is probably the area that we're going to see it come in. Bear in mind as well that it's US earnings season at the moment, which has just kicked off yesterday. Nothing much happened yesterday, but we do have quite a few results coming out this week. And that is going to be the true impact of what's going on in the world at the moment. So we need to watch out for that. Okay, so just coming back to, we do sort of a half hour. I'm going to move this level up here. So there's a bit of a breakout here. So it would be nice to see a pullback back onto 44.058 and then a move to the upside. But these oscillators all grouping like this really seriously worry me. Okay, so I'm not really interested in chasing any longs, to be honest. I want to see a deeper pullback, and then we'll chase along for this area. Or alternatively, I'm more interested in looking for short scalps at the moment, with the view that it may just break rapidly to the downside and give me a better entry. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much my view at the moment. This area of 45.187 is definitely very attractive for me to get some shorts in. And you can see there is a swing low. There's a lot of rejections of that level. So we haven't tested it. Okay, we tested it. Well, we had 3 days in a row there, but I would expect another retest of that level. We haven't had a retest that level, so that's what's coming as far as I'm concerned. And we do have a couple of gaps to the upside, which may attract it, and we do have a 200 EMA as well, which may also attract the seller. But this little setting here is worrying me. You can see we've had a crossover already on the one stochastic, and the other one is coming up to meet it. So the minute we get a grouping and a crossover there, that's when we are going to be really concerned. So you can see here's an example. Here's another example. There is another example. There's a good example as well. You can see every time the stochastics group like this, we have a move to the downside. And the start of this big downward move, you can see we crossed over far apart. not that far apart, but apart. And look what's happening at the moment. Similar kind of setup. Okay. Anyway, guys. Sorry. Last thing, almost forgot. We also have a wedge. We also have a wedge on the daily. Okay. So a daily close below that wedge is going to trigger a whole lot of shorts for me. And I think that's kind of what I'm anticipating, at least another retest of these lows while the world figures out what to do. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Not going to jump in for longs on the at the open. Wait for it. There may be a bit of a long scalp up. If you do see the trend is up at the moment, maybe a bit of a long scalp, but you're going to keep that top really tight, and you're looking to take profit. And I think my advice to you really is look all the way along. Okay, so in other words, scroll to the right here. And you can see we're at this level here. Are there any other levels that we need to worry about? You can see there's quite a bit of congestion in this area. There's kind of a level right there as well. Okay, so yeah, somewhere in this area on the 61, you see that we've tested the 61.8 already. So that's pretty much what I'm expecting. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Long scalp, short scalp, long scalp, short scalp, I think is the story of the day. Just keep those stops really tight and trade on the lower time frames. Hope it helps, and we'll catch you later. Cheers for now.